Church would be remembered.
What do you hope your legacy is?
I never really thought about it. The Church is the legacy.
A secret handwritten letter from Pope Francis is said to reveal the next successor, making the conclave to elect a new pope even more exciting and unpredictable. Who will be the successor among the 138 eligible cardinals, and how will the upcoming conclave unfold? Let's explore the surprising and interesting details in the process of choosing the new leader of the Vatican. Pope Francis pens secret letter naming successor. Breaking centuries of Vatican tradition, Pope Francis wrote a handwritten letter naming his preferred successor. This extraordinary document shows the late pontiff's attempt to shape the upcoming conclave scheduled between May 6 and May 11. Pope Francis showed he was willing to break from papal secrecy protocols. Before his death, he surprised Vatican observers by openly discussing previous conclaves. His book, The Successor, My Memories of Benedict XVI, revealed private details about the 2005 conclave that elected Benedict XVI and the 2013 conclave where he became pope. Asked about breaking the sacred oath of secrecy that cardinals take during conclaves, Francis simply stated that popes have a license to tell it. This mindset led to his decision to write a secret letter naming who he wanted as the next pope. The letter reflects Francis's desire to protect his church's vision. He changed many traditions during his papacy. In November 2024, he simplified funeral rites to highlight his role as a mere bishop instead of a monarch. He chose St. Mary Major Basilica over St. Peter's as his final resting place, again breaking from tradition. Francis's choice to name a successor fits with his strong influence over the College of Cardinals. He had personally picked about 80% of the cardinals who would elect the next pope. The letter seems to be his way of ensuring his reforms would continue. The letter's timing carries special weight as the Vatican gets ready for the conclave. Vatican rules require the conclave to start between 15 and 20 days after the Pope's death. Cardinal electors are now gathering in Rome. The Apostolic Constitution Universae Dominici Gregis strictly governs papal election secrecy. Cardinals must swear to maintain the greatest fidelity and with all persons, clerical or lay, secrecy regarding everything that in any way relates to the election of the Roman pontiff. This oath bars breaking secrecy either during or after the election of the new pontiff, unless explicit authorization is granted by the same pontiff. The letter's existence marks an unusual step into a process that Catholic teaching sees as guided by the Holy Spirit, not human plans. Catholics believe cardinals in the Sistine Chapel are simply conduits who are doing the Holy Spirit's bidding. This news has stirred concern given the upcoming conclave's complex dynamics. The Council of Cardinals report lists 22 cardinals who are considered papabili, or most likely to become pope shortly. The current leading candidates all possess notable characteristics and accomplishments. Cardinal Peter Erdo of Hungary is considered the leading conservative choice, with a strong stance on defending the Church's traditional values. Cardinal Peter Turkson of Ghana stands out for his work in the field of social justice, especially issues related to the poor and global justice. Meanwhile, Cardinal Pietro Parolin of Italy, with his long experience in important Vatican posts, is highly regarded for his deep understanding of church politics and governance. These cardinals not only reflect different directions in the church, but also contribute to shaping important choices and changes in the future. The letter has changed these calculations. The 135 cardinal electors must now decide whether to follow Francis's wishes or chart their path. Yes, it raises questions about Francis's earlier statements. He denied rumors about changing conclave rules for future papal elections just before his death. The secret letter seems to contradict this, suggesting he tried to influence the selection process quietly. Vatican experts point out this mirrors Francis's earlier revelations about the 2005 conclave. He claimed cardinals used him in a complete maneuver to block Cardinal Joseph Ratzinger's election by forcing a compromise candidate. The Vatican has officially confirmed the authenticity of a handwritten letter from the Pope, opening up many interesting questions about the future of the Catholic Church. So, what important information does this letter contain about Pope Francis' successor? Could it be the key to helping us better understand the upcoming conclave? Let's find out what the Vatican has revealed. Vatican confirms authenticity of Pope's handwritten note. A secret papal letter naming a successor has shocked the world, and all eyes are on the Vatican for official confirmation. The existence of the letter has created a stir among the College of Cardinals as they prepare for the upcoming conclave to elect the next pope. Vatican archivists found the handwritten letter while cataloguing Pope Francis' personal effects after his death. The document was hidden among the late Pope's diaries and unpublished handwritten sermons. Its authenticity was immediately apparent thanks to the fisherman's ring badge, the official papal seal, despite its unexpected appearance. Vatican officials who first saw the document thought it was simply a personal note or private farewell message. Close examination of the letter revealed specific instructions on the papal succession, an unprecedented move, breaking with the traditional conclave process where cardinals must vote without outside influence. The timing was particularly sensitive, as the letter emerged during the preparation for the conclave, which had to begin 15 to 20 days after the declaration of sede vacante, empty church. The 135 cardinal electors who could vote had already begun arriving in Rome. The careful preservation of the letter fits a pattern of Pope Francis preparing handwritten correspondence for specific purposes throughout his pontificate. The Vatican has confirmed Francis' handwritten responses to letters from various groups. Cardinal Pietro Parolin, the Vatican's Secretary of State, was in charge of checking whether the document was authentic, and the Vatican responded cautiously but confirmed its existence. Parolin's role is consistent with his previous handling of sensitive papal communications. He showed Bexiu a letter signed by Pope Francis that stated the convicted cardinal could not participate in the upcoming conclave. A Vatican spokesman issued this statement about the letter, while stressing that church law still governs the conclave. The Holy See confirms the discovery of a personal letter written by the late Holy Father. While we are verifying its contents, we remind the faithful that the election of the Supreme Pontiff remains a solemn process guided by the Holy Spirit through the votes of the cardinal electors. The statement did not name names or reveal the contents, in line with the Vatican's usual handling of sensitive communications. Senior Vatican officials have been rushed into emergency meetings behind closed doors. Sources familiar with the discussions say the debate centers on a few key questions. Does the letter count as an official directive or just a personal reflection? Should all cardinal electors see the letter before the conclave begins? How can Francis's apparent wishes be reconciled with the rule that conclaves must be free from outside influence? The Council of Cardinals will discuss the letter in their general congregations, pre-conclave meetings where they discuss church matters. These meetings have historical significance. Then Cardinal Bergoglio's speech about reaching out to the existential peripheries at similar meetings in 2013 helped make him Pope Francis. The situation is unprecedented for the 135 cardinals under the age of 80 who are eligible to vote. Now they must prepare to enter the Sistine Chapel, where voting takes place in complete secrecy, cutting off all outside communication. The Pope's secret letter has created a major shock, changing the dynamics of the upcoming conclave. How will the information in this letter affect the process of selecting a successor? How might this revelation change the key decisions and actions of the cardinals in choosing the new leader of the Catholic Church? How the secret letter alters the conclave dynamics. Pope Francis's secret letter has altered the map of the upcoming conclave. This unprecedented move adds new layers of complexity to an already intricate process. The Pope's specific choices for succession have sent waves through the 135 cardinals under age 80 who will choose the next pontiff. The secret letter has pushed traditional voting groups in the College of Cardinals to realign themselves. Geographical divisions have become vital as European cardinals control about 38% of voting seats. Their bloc remains powerful despite Francis's efforts to broaden cardinal appointments. African cardinals, 19 in total, hold mostly conservative views on doctrine and sexuality. They must now make a key choice. They can back Francis's named successor or put forward their candidate who might better match their priorities. Cardinals arriving in Rome for pre-conclave meetings have stepped up their succession talks. The letter adds fresh weight to these discussions. Conservative figures like Raymond Burke and Gerhard Müller might use this chance to build opposition against Francis's pick. The letter could help their cause. They can argue that outside pressure threatens the conclave's purity and might break the sacred oath. This oath demands voting without any pact, agreement, promise, or other commitment. Vatican experts call some cardinals kingmakers. These influential figures won't become pope, but can guide large voting groups. They face pressure to either back the pope's choice or defend the conclave's freedom from papal influence. Many cardinals will take part in their first conclave. They haven't built relationships with their colleagues yet. The letter shapes their first impressions and possible alliances. One Vatican expert noted, many had never met each other before heading to Rome in the last week. The conclave needs a 2/3 majority to pick a pope. Multiple voting rounds usually achieve this goal. The letter might stretch this process as cardinals weigh Francis's wishes against their judgment. The Pope's secret letter changed voting strategy in the conclave in 3 key ways. First, the first vote was now not simply a decision, but often reflected the cardinals' ideological positions to demonstrate support for Pope Francis's vision or assert their independence. Second, the 2/3 rule remained in place, regardless of how long the discussions lasted, increasing the importance of time for cardinals to fully process the letter's implications. Finally, the informal closed-door meetings that preceded the conclave became more important than ever. These meetings became opportunities for cardinals to assess each other and form groups, with moments like coffee breaks or walks becoming valuable times to discuss the implications of the secret letter for the papal selection process. The letter might lead to a longer conclave than the 2-day process that chose Francis in 2013. Some experts welcome this extra time. Historian Alberto Meloni said, "Cardinals shouldn't be afraid to let the conclave drag on, even if it sends a message of division." The document turns a simple vote into something bigger. It questions whether a pope should guide successor selection or if the conclave should stay free from such influence. The outcome will create new precedent. It will change church traditions that have stayed mostly the same for centuries. Pope Francis' secret letter is not only an important document about his successor, but also reveals much about his vision for the Church. So what does it reveal about the views and goals that Pope Francis hopes to convey to his successor? Let's take a look at the insights it offers about the future of the Vatican. What does the letter reveal about Pope Francis' vision? Pope Francis' recently released secret letter not only reveals his potential successor, but also outlines his vision for the future of the Catholic Church. The document documents the key priorities of Francis's 12 years in office and highlights the goals and values he hopes to continue to develop after his resignation. One of the most notable points in the letter is Pope Francis' desire to continue moving forward, rather than reverting to conservative or old ways of the Church. During his time in office, Francis has made major reforms to the Church, and the appointment of around 110 of the current 135 cardinal electors is part of this plan. These appointments have helped shape the College of Cardinals in a direction that is closer to his vision of a more inclusive, open church that welcomes all members of society. Pope Francis wants these reforms to last and hopes that his successor will continue on this path, rather than reverting to conservative views or trying to reverse the changes he has made. During his final year in office, Francis has been actively preparing for his succession, with actions aimed at purifying the Vatican and the Catholic Church. His reforms have given less power to the Central Vatican, and instead have given more power and influence to regions outside Europe, especially non-European cardinals, increasing diversity and globalization in the Church. This has been evident in his appointment of many cardinals from countries in Asia, Africa, and Latin America, regions that were previously underrepresented in the Church's powerful bodies. The letter also reflects Francis's particular interest in global issues, such as migrant and LGBTQ+ rights. He has been vocal on the issue of migrants, stating that mass deportations harm the dignity of many men and women. As a demonstration of this support, Francis took direct action by donating $500,000 in 2019 to help migrants at the US border. In addition, the letter indicates that he wants to continue his welcoming and tolerant approach to the LGBTQ+ community. In December 2023, he made history by allowing priests to bless same-sex couples, an act that many have called a revolution of compassion that reflects a change in the Church's attitude toward communities that have been less accepted in the past. The letter also highlights Francis' vision of a more collaboratively governed Church. He has already implemented reforms that include allowing women to become deacons and allowing married men to serve as clergy in remote areas. Francis has stressed that he wants to continue to expand this opportunity, aiming to create a church that is not only focused on the most prominent people in society, but also listens to and helps those who are left out, those who are outside the center. Ultimately, the letter reflects a pope deeply concerned with protecting his legacy. He wants the Church to continue to reach out to the existential peripheries where traditional Catholicism may not have reached, and to welcome those whom the institutional Church may have previously overlooked. Pope Francis has worked tirelessly to build a church with a philosophy of tolerance, respect for the dignity of every human person, and ready to face the new challenges of the 21st century. His vision, reflected in the confidential letter, is not only for the Catholic Church, but also for the world, encouraging solidarity, tolerance, and a deeper understanding of sensitive social issues. Given the reforms and vision that Pope Francis has set out during his leadership, do you think his successor will continue on this path, or will he bring about a bigger change? Please share your thoughts in the comments section below. We would love to hear from you. And don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel for more interesting updates. Thank you and see you in the next videos.